I'm Todd Bookspan, and welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. The hyper-local real estate show where real estate professionals talk about the neighborhood you live in or the neighborhood you want to live in. This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today. Hey everyone, I'm Todd Bookspan, and welcome to this episode of Your Neighborhood Real Estate Show. I'm super excited to have Scott Marlow on, and he's going to talk about Old Town Scottsdale 85251. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
All right, so you're a real estate agent with eXp Realty.
Correct.
And we go way back. We were just joking about the fact that we had you were on my radio show back in the day.
Right.
I remember that. You said you made a joke about that you can sell your own house like you cut your own hair.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
And then I went bald after that. So
well, but that was really more around that you actually help people who are for sale by owners selling homes, and
right.
you're meaning to them, hey, you can't really sell your house that well. And I remember on that show you had given a statistic that the average for sale by owner loses a certain amount of money every time they sell a home. Is that still true?
Yeah, it is. The Arizona Republic did a study this was back in 2014, and they did a study that for the people that sold their house for sale by owner got 14% less than the people that sold with a realtor. So they did
they saved the real estate commission, but then they lost a lot more money.
Exactly. Save 6%, but pay or get 14% less. So.
And that's still, I got to imagine it's to the same day or maybe even worse today.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, all right. So give a little history of you. How long you've been in real estate? Why do you love Scottsdale?
Okay.
Why'd you choose eXp? All those. We got a lot of ground we can cover.
Yeah. Been in real estate since 2002. Been in a few different brokerages. Got into Mike Ferry coaching, and that's what got me to start calling for sale by owners. So real estate career was going great until 2008, and that's when it stopped going great for a lot of people.
Heard a few. I remember that.
Yeah. So I bounced around. I started doing foreclosures, REO sales. I had like 50 REO listings and running all around the valley to make.
That was a hard time.
Yeah.
Selling $50,000 houses.
Yeah. $100,000. I was like, ooh, this is a good listing. It's like a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember it was really difficult to get the transactions closed too on the mortgage side.
Yeah.
That was, definitely a frustrating time.
Yeah.
Definitely frustrating time.
Yeah.
And then you just became Mr. For Sale by Owner. And
I did.
I realize you help all clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's still one of the areas you just love to
see
those people from themselves.
We're lucky in Phoenix. We have about 10 new for sale by owners a day that are coming up. So in other markets like Southern California, or I talk to people in Northern California, Texas, they're like, oh my God, you have 10 new for sale by owners to call a day. So we're really lucky here. So we're the 5th largest city in the US, and a lot of people, for whatever reason, try to sell their house for sale by owner. So it's a lot of business out there.
And I guess I understand the idea of maybe potentially saving money, but how do you counteract that argument?
A couple different ways. One of the unique things that I do is I let them continue to sell it for sale by owner while they have it listed with me at the same time. And so that way it's a win-win situation for them. So if I sell it, I'm gonna net them more money even after they pay a commission, and they can keep their house on Zillow or keep doing their own open houses or whatever. If they find their own buyer without a realtor, they can just close it for sale by owner. But I've taken over 150 listings like that where I let them continue to sell it on their own. And guess how many people have sold it on their own while I've had it listed?
I guess it can't be very many.
Zero.
Zero
have done it.
So that's a pretty good thing. So,
yeah.
Certainly if you're thinking about selling your home, obviously I'd encourage you to connect with Scott, and he can at least walk you through that program.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right. So we decided we were going to talk about Old Town Scottsdale. And it's funny because when you and I were talking about prepping for the show, I could predict. Oftentimes I'm like, I just know you as the guy that knows Old Town Scottsdale, better than anyone I know.
Yeah. So I branded myself as Scott from Scottsdale. That's my domain name, scottfromscottsdale.com. I've lived in Old Town since 2011. Right now I have a condo on top of the Camden, which is right at, Stetson and Wells Fargo, I think. So right in the middle of everything, we walk out the door, walk to dinner, walk to whatever we want right out there in Old Town. It's cool. It's a cool lifestyle just to be able to walk everywhere and not have to drive half an hour to get anywhere.
And there's homes there too. There's condos. I mean, kind of walk through what like different demographics and different price points and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So obviously there's a lot of condos right in Old Town Scottsdale within walking distance, but you don't have to go very far, maybe a half a mile to a mile out, and you can start to get some homes where you can have your own driveway, your own garage, backyard, private pool, whatever you want. So you can get to that. If you just go a little bit west or a little bit east, you've got some great neighborhoods there where you can still have that walking distance to everything feel, but you still have a home with no shared walls and everything like a condo has.
And how much would you have to spend to get a condo downtown?
Condo downtown, for 2-bedroom condo, you're probably looking around $250 for something decent, and then up from there. And then houses are going to start probably for a remodeled house. You're probably looking in the $350 to $400 range, and then up from there.
And there's a ton of amenities. So, I mean, I know restaurants galore, shops galore. Right. I mean, kind of what are some of your favorite recommendations you make to people?
I love, whether they're young or old, whenever somebody comes to visit, I like to take them to the Rusty Spur. The Rusty Spur is really cool. It used to be a bank back in the day, so the vault is still there. And around Christmas time, there's a guy that sings Christmas carols on the back of a horse playing the guitar. He'll come with the horse into the bar playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or whatever, and it's all right there. And so people from out of town love coming to the Rusty Spur, and I do too.
And then you said that there's some developmental potential changes going on there.
Yeah, so something really big that's going on in Old Town Scottsdale is a developer's gone in and purchased all the land where a lot of the t-shirt shops, turquoise jewelry shops and everything, small bars, everything kind of from Scottsdale Road to the canal and back. We're talking about a whole city block.
Yeah, it's a lot there. And it was funny because those stores were there when I was a kid and came to Arizona to visit probably before you were born.
Right. So they want to build big commercial real estate there, like 10 to 15 stories. They're talking about a build time of 7 to 10 years to complete all the next phases. And so if this goes through, Old Town Scottsdale is going to look nothing like it does today. So obviously a lot of the businesses there, they have petitions going to try to stop it, save Old Town Scottsdale and everything. But I don't know. I don't know which way it's going to go. But if this goes through in 10 years, Old Town Scottsdale is going to look like Manhattan or something.
Yeah, I was going to say a whole lot different. That's pretty wild. So if someone calls you and says, "Hey, I'm looking to buy a property in Old Town Scottsdale," how are you helping them figure out where to look and buy?
I really ask them, what type of lifestyle do they want? Do they want this walking? Do they want the condo life, or do they want a home? A lot of people call me up from out of town. They say, we want a place where we can rent it out Airbnb. That's the big thing, or VRBO. We want to be able to rent, short term while we're not there. A lot of the HOAs in Scottsdale will not allow you to do that. So if that's what they want to do, I try to pull them away from an HOA, from a condo, and put them into a single family home. Almost not every, but a lot of the neighborhoods where single family homes are in Old Town do not have HOAs. So you won't run up against those rules about no short-term rentals.
Yeah. So is that a big part of your business then, helping people on the short-term rental side?
It's becoming that way. Yeah. It's kind of in vogue, and it's the way to make even more money as an investor. So, I mean, it is more turnover and a little bit more management, because you've got people staying there 1, 2, 3 days or a week. And so you got to get in there, get it cleaned and everything more often than you would renting it out by the month or by the year. But your return's going to go way up, and that's what attracts everybody.
Yeah, especially in the beginning of the year where we've got Barrett Jackson golf tournaments, spring training. I mean,
this is go time right now.
And beautiful weather the rest of the year, except for those couple of warm months in the summer.
Yeah, but I found even in the summer months, I found my investors have been pretty lucky at finding people that rent by the month in the June, July, August timeframe. We have a lot of traveling nurses and health professionals that are here that need furnished housing, and they don't, they're not here for the weather. They're here to work. And so you can still rent it out and make your money back in those summer months.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And so obviously inventory is kind of tight. So,
yes.
So how are you preparing buyers and sellers for that?
Getting everybody pre-qualified, or if they're a cash buyer, making sure that they have a good recent proof of funds, and writing a strong offer, doing things like shortening our inspection period, doing a higher earnest deposit, things like that to make our offer stand out. And then just calling and talking to the listing agent when I make an offer. I've had a lot of listings and
that doesn't sound like that should be that difficult of a thing.
It's not, but you'd be surprised.
People are surprised. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many agents just fire off an offer and email it, and that's it. And if I'm not there checking my email, I wouldn't know that there's an offer there for some $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 house. I mean, it deserves a phone call at least and some schmoozing or whatever. And that means a lot now. A lot of clients are writing letters sort of to the seller explaining their situation. Oh, we've always wanted to live here. We have a family. We vacationed here. It's our dream to have a place in Scottsdale, and your home. You know, we can picture our kids sitting at this bar and these bar stools, and having breakfast and this and this. Those things can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you finding on the listing side then it's harder to get listings right now?
It is, and I'm finding that a lot of for sale by owners that I call, I try to call them the day that they post on Zillow or all the different websites. I call them the same day they list. And if I don't get them on the first day or two, my objection is not, oh, your commission's too high. And the objection is not, oh, we want to wait. It's, oh, we got an offer already.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if you got an offer in a day, think of what I could have gotten you with full service representation. How much more could I have gotten you?
I think people forget that the power of the multiple listing service, right? MLS, where you guys put it, because then all the other agents who have buyers that are all trying to buy it, and that's where you can drive up, like you said, if there's multi offers on it versus that one offer they got for 14% less than they would have gotten otherwise.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I tend to find that they believe that the value that they see on websites is what they can sell their house for. They don't understand that may not be actually what their house is worth.
It is. It's funny, when we were coming out of the decline, it seemed like the price estimates were a little high, and I'd always come in breaking bad news to people. Now when I meet with for sale by owners, I'm convincing them that we can sell for more than what you saw on your price estimate.
Well, that's a whole lot easier, right?
It is, but sometimes they don't want to believe it. And they're like, this sounds too good to be true. How can I get, $40,000 more by listing? I'm like, well, give me 28 days and I'll show you. And it's usually the case that it's sold by then.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And so anything else we should say on Scottsdale before I start picking your brain on a couple other things?
No, I think that's it. We covered a lot.
All right. So, you mentioned you're with EXP Realty. Mm-hmm. So, it seems like EXP is kind of on fire. And I know you've been traveling around and teaching other agents about EXP. So what would you say about it to someone who's a consumer listening so they know something great about the company, or to an agent who's thinking about maybe joining?
Yeah. EXP has been growing a ton. People think it's a brand new company, but we've actually been around since 2009. I had heard about it, and it took me a while before I really opened my eyes to see what it really was. And after I did, I was kicking myself for not joining years earlier. But basically what it is it's a cloud-based, internet-based real estate brokerage, kind of like the Amazon of real estate or the Uber of real estate. So what we do is, with all that money that we save by not having brick and mortar and leases and receptionists and electric bills and copiers and everything else, and all those costs that add up, we're able to actually pass some of that money back to the agents that join us through stock and revenue share, which is changing my life and a lot of the agents' lives that I know. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of interesting. I know you teach around the country. So how would someone just go to ScottFromScottsdale.com?
Yeah, ScottFromScottsdale.com. You can find me on Facebook. It's Scott Marlow. My last name is just Marlow. Or my number is 480-363-2820 if you want to give me a call or a text.
There we go. We got it all. We'll make sure we put that in the show notes. All right. Anything else we should cover before I let you go actually sell some more houses?
No, thanks for having me on. It's awesome. Great to be here. Beautiful office, by the way.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm Todd Bookspan. That's Scott Marlow. This is another episode of Your Neighborhood Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next episode. This episode is brought to you by HomebuyerUniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to HomebuyerUniversity.net to get started online today.